Hey there guys, in today's video I have decided that our PVC Parrot play stand isn't fun enough. So today we are going to be adding a stand and a swing. Now the fun thing that we are going to be doing as we build this is we're going to give you the option that this swing can be a part of the PVC Parrot play stand, but if you decide you would like to remove it, if you would like to use it in your bird's cage, you can always go ahead and detach this swing, and that will then give you a stand and two toy holders that you can have that can easily be accessed from that perch. So if this is something you guys are interested in seeing, make sure to stick around because that's going to be coming up right after this. Hey there guys, this is Jack over at Hi Redbird, where I am tirelessly working to find new ways to make the keeping of exotic animals and pets more exciting, more affordable, and ultimately more enjoyable. And in today's video, I wanted to show you guys how to add a stand and a swing to our ultimate Parrot play stand. Now, as you guys may have noticed, this is getting absolutely immense. And to me, that is so much fun to see because we really haven't done that much. In just a few simple steps, we've taken a basic stand and turned it into something incredibly engaging for our bird to interact with. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen, but I am actually working on building my own bird to go on this PVC Parrot play stand. I'll put the videos up there, but I am hand raising some green cheek conures, one of which will be my personal bird. So my goal is, by the time this PVC Parrot play stand is completely finished, I will also have a bird that I can put on that for you guys. Now we've done quite a bit, and I've had a lot of people reach out to me and ask how they can support the channel, because obviously we've gone through quite a bit of PVC pipe, fittings, hardware, etc. And there's a couple of different ways that you guys can support the channel. Now you can obviously like the videos, subscribe to the channel, leave comments. All of those help me. But if you guys would like to sign up for my Patreon, I'll have a link in the description section down below. Now, the benefit my Patreon patrons get is they get advance notice of the type of videos that are going to be coming out in a given month. And they also get the opportunity to message me directly to ask questions about their birds or anything else like that. So it's definitely something that if you guys are interested in it, I recommend it. But my Patreon patrons stay subscribed, so I'm willing to bet they would recommend it too. Another thing you can do is I have merchandise available, including my Sorry I'm Late, I Have Birds shirts. Now those also come in tote bags, coffee mugs, face masks. So if anything strikes your interest there, you can go ahead and get those items. You can show your love of birds. You can explain why you're sometimes late with a t-shirt. And all of those purchases do go to support the channel as well. So thank you guys so much for all of your support. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into building a stand and a swing for our PVC Parrot play stand. Now there's a couple of items that we're going to need in order to do this. The first one, as you might have guessed, is going to be PVC pipe. Now we are going to need quite a bit of it for this addition. You guys remember a lot of them have only been small pieces. With our spiral staircase, we built that completely out of scraps that we had from our other pieces, from cuts that we made. For our stand and our swing, you are going to need probably at least 5 feet of PVC pipe. Now, the reason I can't give you a definitive answer is it's going to depend on where you're attaching it. I'm going to be attaching it to the base of my stand, so I need at least 3.5 feet to bring it from the base up to the level that I need it at. If you guys are going to be building it maybe somewhere off here, you obviously wouldn't need as much PVC pipe. And because I've been telling you guys that you can modify this for your size, if you are building a stand that is absolutely immense, you're probably going to need more PVC pipe. So we're going to need our PVC pipe. Anytime we use our PVC pipe, we are going to use our ratcheting PVC cutters. Now, I do highly recommend you guys to get a set of PVC cutters. If you're going to build things out of PVC for your animals regularly, they are incredibly helpful. If you are only going to build this one single stand, I'm still going to recommend them. They really are that helpful. They're inexpensive. They make this go really, really easy, really fast, and they ensure that you're going to get nice, clean lines when you make your cuts. Now, I am going to tell you guys that you're not going to get to see me use the ratcheting PVC cutters in this video because somebody, and I'm not going to say who, but somebody misframed the shot so that when the swing was built, the top 6 inches of it was out of the frame, so you guys couldn't see any of the things I was talking about. And I'm not sure who did that, but as soon as I find out, they will be dealt with. But that means that we are going to be using pieces that I have pre-cut. Now, cutting pieces that we need, we're going to need 2 sets of PVC pipe that is going to be cut to a particular length. Now, the exact measurement does not matter. What is going to matter is that you have pieces that can match. So here I have 1 set, here I have another set. Now in terms of fittings, we are going to need 3 elbow fittings. These are going to be 90-degree elbow fittings. These are slip fittings. They're sometimes called solvent fittings. We're avoiding threaded fittings for this project because they add a level of complication to it that we want to avoid. And the other thing is, I know some people aren't going to want to use any solvents or anything else to glue this together. They are going to want to just take a rubber mallet and beat this sand into submission, securing all of the joints. And that is actually a great way to put it together for most birds. Most birds aren't going to have the ability to take that apart if you just take a rubber mallet to it. But you can't do that with a threaded fitting. You have to use a slip fitting for that. So we're going to need 3 elbow fittings. We are going to need 3 cap fittings. Now, 1 of them we are going to use just as it is, but 2 of them we are going to be attaching an eye bolt and securing with a stainless steel locking nut. Now, if you guys hadn't seen the video, that is how we built our toy hanger that we use on the end. You can build as many of these as you want. So, for example, on our spiral staircase, if you wanted to build one of these to go on every single perch, you guys can completely do that. This is a very, very easy thing to put together. But I did do a video completely showing you guys how they come together. They're really, really easy. So we're going to need 2 of the caps with those hardware inserts for our swing. We're going to need 2 of the couplings with those hardware inserts for our swing. Now, those are the same way that we built the couplings that hold our perch, that hold our food and water bowl. Again, incredibly easy to do. I did a video, again, that one will be up there as well, showing you guys how to do this. And if you guys have missed any of the components of our PVC Parrot Play Gym, they are all on the same playlist. So go ahead, take a look at the playlist, see if there's anything you're missing out on, because you don't want your bird to miss out on the fun. Now, the only other things you're going to need, you are going to need some quick links. You're going to want stainless steel quick links. You're going to want them to be, you're going to want 2 of them, and I have dropped one, and I do not know exactly where it went. So I will find that somewhere and add that in through the magic of video editing. But you're going to want 2 stainless steel quick links that match each, oh, there it is. Ta-da, it is magic. You're going to want 2 stainless steel quick links that match each other perfectly. Now, the reason I say that, if you take them off of old toys and they don't match, your swing's not going to sit right. Your bird would probably still use it, but it wouldn't necessarily be as safe. So make sure that they are the same size. You also want to make sure that you are using a quick link that the opening can fit over those eye bolts. You don't want to have to fight that. You want to make sure that that fits, because that's how we're going to be securing our swing to the stand. So like I said, the first thing you're going to need to do, you're going to need some pairs of pieces. So the first one we're going to use, this is the width that I want my swing to be. Again, I am building this for a green cheek conure. I don't need it to be very big. Now the other piece, I just need to match it. This is going to be the part that supports it on the stand. So that's the base part of the swing. So I have labeled both of those with a letter A. So you can go ahead and use a marking utensil. A Sharpie works really well for this. And then set those aside. I am also going to need some pieces that I can use as the supports for the swing. Basically how tall I want the swing to be. Now, if you wanted to be a little okay, I'm not going to say lazy, but if you wanted to be efficient, or if you wanted to be absolutely sure that all of these pieces would go together well, the width and the height of your swing could be the exact same measurement. And you would just cut 4 pieces the exact same size. You would end up with a completely square swing. Now, I want my swing to be a little bit taller than it is wide, because in my mind, that's what a bird swing should look like. But you guys can build it however you want. I am just going to recommend that you take into consideration, this is the perch where your bird is standing. This is how tall the swing is. This is not a swing I would build for a macaw because he's not going to fit. You want to make sure that there is enough room for the height of your bird. So take that into consideration. But once we have that done, there's a couple of other cutting that we'll do as we're moving on, but I'll show you guys that when we get there. So the first thing you want to do is take your base perch piece. This is how wide you wanted your perch on your swing to be. We are going to add a 90-degree fitting to either side of that. We are then going to add our 2 riser pieces. Now is a great opportunity when you have it like this. Just set it on a table. Oh, shake the entire camera. If you guys don't have a camera, if you're not recording this, you can avoid that step. But just press it onto the table to make sure you get this in line with itself. You don't want it completely wonky. And of course, I just showed you guys how to fix that, and then I broke it because I am a very smart person. But there we go. We have the bulk of our swing built. All we're going to do is we're going to take some end caps with our hardware. Now, the reason we're going to be making sure that we use the eye bolt with the stainless steel nylon threaded locking nut is, especially as your bird is swinging on this, if you use the nut that comes with the eye bolt or one that isn't threaded, what's going to happen is over time it will gradually unthread, and at some point when your bird is swinging, the swing will go falling out from under them. And most birds will not enjoy that. So that's something we want to try to avoid. But there you go. You can see we have already built a swing. And if you just manhandle this into shape, if you use a rubber mallet to just beat this into submission, this is really, really sturdy on its own. You could use this in your bird's cage as well. You can use it anywhere that you would want to attach a swing. But this is a really, really easy way to just build a swing. Now, we are going to build the stand that holds that swing. So I want to get a good length of PVC pipe. So I have this piece that's left over. This is about 3.5 feet of PVC. And what I'm going to check is I know that this is where that cross piece will go. So I know that's about where my swing will hang. And that is actually about perfect. It's almost like I know what I'm doing, at least if you squint a little. So I'm going to go ahead and use that as a support piece. Now, if you have smaller pieces of PVC and you want to try to make this work, you can always use couplings to try to get more length. And especially if that PVC is getting very, very long. The longer it gets, the more wobbly it's going to get. I am going to glue this together, which is going to give it a little more structure. But if you were concerned about it with your bird, you could always attach a T-fitting here. So I would make a cut here, attach a T-fitting. I would attach a T-fitting here. And because I am having it match this, I would actually have to take out a little chunk. I wouldn't just take out a single cut. I would have to take out a small piece. My recommendation there is, if you have to do that, always take out a smaller piece than what you think you need, and then take off a little bit more and a little bit more, because you can always shave a little more off, but you can't put it back on. Now, as we've discussed before, there's always a way to fix it. It just may involve getting a brand new piece of PVC to start out with. So it's doable, but since I am only building this for a green cheek conure, not the largest bird, and especially since I am going to be gluing this together later, it has a little bit of play, but not enough that I am worried about it. So that's going to be the riser for my stand. To the top of that, I am going to add our third elbow fitting. Now we need to add in our support piece. Now this is the center support that we have built for our swing. We are going to add our coupling pieces to either side of this. Now the reason we measure this out so they match is that this piece matches that piece. It will line up really, really well. It doesn't line up perfectly because, again, the couplings and the elbow fittings are not the same depth, but it's really, really close. It's close enough that it works well enough. I try to be honest with you guys. There are times where you need to be really, really specific with your measurements, and there are times where it's good enough. Your bird's not going to go through with a tape measure and say, oh, this isn't exact. And if they do, I would like to see it. Please go ahead and record that. But this is going to work just great. We made sure that this matches our swing. So we need to be able to attach these two pieces together. Now you can see on this perch, I don't have that much extra room, so I don't want to put a huge piece. Now the smallest piece that I could use, we are using 3/4 inch PVC pipe, and we know that in the 1/2 inch to 1 inch range, it's typically going to go into a fitting about the diameter of the pipe. So to accommodate those two fittings right there, on a 3/4 inch PVC pipe, I'm going to need at least 1.5 inches of PVC. So I have a small piece right there. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. Now I could make that a little bit longer if I wanted to, but I don't want to take up too much room. And again, you can see how much of that you can see, but if I take a rubber mallet to this, there will be next to nothing there. So I have my brace. I want to make sure that both of my pieces of hardware are facing the same way. It is easy for them to get twisted and turned, so just make sure that they're facing the same way. Now I'm going to take one more small piece of PVC, and then I'm going to take a basic end cap. Now you guys will remember I've told you in a previous video that you can replace just about any of your end caps, these plain end caps, with our toy hanging end caps. That'll give you the opportunity to hang more things. I am not going to recommend it on this single piece right here. The reason for that is you're going to have a toy, or if you had a toy hanging there next to the swing that's hanging here with a bird trying to move the swing, to me that's just too much potential for something to get tangled up, something to get caught. So I would say leave that just a plain end cap. So now I'm going to take my swing and I'm going to attach my two quick links to this. Now the fun part is I have already built this once, just a little bit ago, but like I said, it was out of frame. So let's see if I have better luck attaching it this time. Oh, so easy. Now normally when I do things like this, it's almost as if you need a third or a fourth hand in order to attach things and make them work really, really well. But this is working just fine. Now I do want to make sure that that's just nicely inserted. Oh. And you can see we have a swing. We have a swing that it would be pretty easy for your bird to jump from the base perch onto that swing. But if you ever get tired of having that swing on there, you could always take it off here. You could attach that swing in their enclosure, and you could just use this stand to have two toy hangers right there. So you can change up what your bird gets to interact with. And that's the entire point of this. You guys, you have the ability to build something that is exactly what you want. You can build it custom for your needs, and you can change it if you want something different. For me, one of the reasons why I've been putting this series together is I encounter a lot of people who say, I would never be able to build something like this. And that's why I go to the trouble of showing you guys in real time how these things come together so easily. And I really, really hope they are helpful. If you guys like videos like this, go ahead, give them a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because there's a ton of videos that I'm working on for you guys. But I do want to thank you guys so much for everyone who has already liked videos, subscribed, commented. Thank you guys so much for everything that you have done to support me as I'm putting all of this together. And I hope to see you guys next time. All right, bye. I do need to say thank you to my Patreon patrons for helping to make these videos possible. You can find out more by visiting Hi Red Bird on Patreon or clicking the link in the description section down below if you would like more information. Thanks!